Academy is hosting St. Joseph's Hamilton on part of the IHA Invitational. Really exciting. Yesterday, IHA came out a winner over Pinsbury, 5-0, and the home team is 3-0 under head coach Anthony Lareza. And St. Joseph's coming in also 3-0 under head coach Candy Dean. A strong offense for them. Really excited to get things going here.
Yeah, and also you focus on the strong offense that St. Joe's Hamilton has shown. They've scored 8, 9, and 10 runs in their 3 wins this season. But also you look at their pitching that they've been getting from Dominique DeAndrea so far this season. It should be an interesting matchup with a strong pitcher in Steph Thomas from IHA and DeAndrea from St. Joe's.
Absolutely. We're excited to get it going here as the first batter is going to step in for IHA. And on the first pitch is swinging a ground out to short, and that's going to be turned in for the first out.
No, the ball was actually dropped by IHA first baseman Emily Cieslak.
Well, there you go. Who knew that? That was Carly Testa, the catcher, number 21. She got the first hit of the game. It was actually an error, and she'll be on first with number 20, Kira Behrens, the second baseman, stepping in now. And the pitch is laid down to bunt. She pulled back, and that's going to be a strike called.
Steph Thomas on the mound for IHA on the season, 3-0, has yet to allow an earned run in 21 innings of work.
As the pitcher comes set, and the bunt is fouled straight back, and that's going to run the count to 0-2. Trying to move the runner over and score early. We know this team can score a lot and score often.
You certainly will. They're a scrappy team. They're hard-nosed. They might not have the most talent, but they play hard, and that got them all the way to the South Jersey Group B final last season.
That's right, as Steph Thomas comes set and awaits to pitch in the dirt. 1-2 now to Kira Behrens, the second baseman, number 20. Behrens, a left-hander, steps back in. The pitcher is set on the circle, and the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. And that's going to be the first out of the inning and the first strikeout for Steph Thomas.
Yes, Steph Thomas on the season coming into this game, 25 strikeouts in 21 innings, now 26 and 21 and a third, and just 3 walks. So that shows incredible command to go along with that electric fastball.
Absolutely. She's having a hot season to start out as number 44, Emily DeMarco, the designated player, steps in with 1 out and 1 on. And the first pitch of the at-bat is laid down to bunt again, and this time they try and pick the runner off as the bunt is missed. It rolls into right field, but no advancement there as the right fielder, Elisa Holt, quickly gets it back in. I'm sorry, the right fielder, Rachel Pollard, quickly gets it back in. And that's going to be 0-1. Now go ahead, Joe.
Emily DeMarco on the season hitting .340, of course, only 3 games in.
But a nice hot start, good way to get things going. As Steph Thomas is set on the circle. And the 0-1 pitch is squared around the bunt. She gets the bunt down, and that's going to be foul, and that's going to run the count to 0-2.
Yeah, it looked like that time she bunted on it, and then it ended up hitting her in the batter's box, and so it will go down as strike number 2. Emily DeMarco, one of just 4 seniors on this St. Joe's team. Last year they went 19-7. They had no seniors, and so a little bit more experience this year's the expectations a little bit raised.
As the 0-2 pitch from Thomas is well outside, they're going to call that a ball, 1-2. A lot of small ball played by St. Joseph's. Candy Dean, the head coach, trying to score early and get her team on top. We know they can score a lot. As the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and that's going to be back-to-back strikeouts for Steph Thomas. That's the second out of the inning. Don't have a gun here, but that looked like some heat.
Yeah, the scouting report on Steph Thomas is she can get the ball up into the mid-60s as her high, and that's very impressive. Of course, here in softball, the mound only 46 feet away from home plate, so coming in 65 miles an hour, that really gets up on you fast.
That is indeed heat, as the first pitch to Dominique DeAndrea, the pitcher, is taken for a ball.
Dominique DeAndrea, almost a, and we'll talk about this more, of course, when St. Joe's goes in the field, almost a St. Joe's version of Steph Thomas, a little bit younger though.
As the 1-0 pitch is taken low in the dirt, and that's going to run the count up to 2-0 now.
She's a junior, 3-year starter. She can hit pretty well, evidenced by her .500 batting average so far this year, batting cleanup in this lineup, but also a very good pitcher in her own right.
2 outs, 1 on. The 2-0 pitch to the pitcher is swung on and hit, but fouled off to the right, and that's going to go out of play. 2-1 now to the pitcher, Dominique DeAndrea, number 12. St. Joseph's, the visiting team, wearing white tops with black pants and red lettering. Similar to IHA, except they're wearing a blue lettering. It looks like navy pants. As the 1-2 pitch is swung on and grounded over to third, but it's going to go foul. That's going to run the count to 2-2. 2 outs, 1 on, 2-2 count, and Steph Thomas is looking to get through this first inning unscathed after an error put the first runner on, the leadoff runner, Carly Testa, as the 2-2 pitch is fouled straight back. DeAndrea staying alive here against Thomas, who, as Joe mentioned, has good stuff. That 65-mile-an-hour rise ball she throws, and not to mention getting back-to-back strikeouts. DeAndrea's got to choke up. As the 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit, and that is going to be fielded by shortstop number 24, Daniela Ibarra. She throws over to first to get the third out, and that is going to end the top half of the first. No runs, no hits, 1 error for IHA, and now St. Joe's is going to take the field, and IHA is going to get to come up to bat here.
And we'll take a look at the starting lineup for IHA. Leading off, it's going to be the pitcher, Steph Thomas. Hitting second will be the third baseman, Reese Guevara. Daniela Ibarra, the shortstop, bats third. Angelina McGuire will play center field and hit cleanup. Rachel Pollard is in right and batting fifth. Batting sixth, the catcher, Jayana Sharma. Emily Cieslak, the first baseman, will bat seventh. Emily Walter will play left and bat eighth. And the designated player, Juliana Kacha, will bat ninth. Reagan Jones, their second baseman, flexed out of the lineup, will be a defensive-only player.
That's right. In softball, you can flex any player you want and have the designated player as opposed to the designated hitter. And so IHA flexes their second baseman, Reagan Jones. Nice inning for Steph Thomas to get things going. She worked around a leadoff error by her defense as they got settled in here really early on this Sunday morning. A little chilly out here. Got to get the jitters out as you get started.
Yeah, but the sun is starting to peek through the clouds, which is, I'm assuming, down on that turf field, making things quite nice. Still a little chilly up here from the broadcast area.
Absolutely. We're up the third baseline a little bit, actually out in left field in foul territory. But I feel the sun on my back starting to warm us up here.
Yeah, it's certainly getting nice. Might even take the jacket off by the end of the game.
Well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? It's more my hands
we can dream.
That get cold.
Yeah.
As pitching for St. Joseph's is Dominique DeAndrea, and she, of course, was the cleanup hitter in the last inning, made the last out there.
Yeah, DeAndrea on the season comes in also, just like Steph Thomas, with a 3-0 record, but a 1.42 ERA. In 19 innings pitched, she has struck out 27 batters.
Wow.
That is unreal, even for high school softball. 3 walks and has allowed just 6 hits in those 3 games. She struck out 12 batters on Thursday in a 9-1 victory over Egg Harbor. She's about as dominating as it gets. Of course, though, the quality of competition that St. Joe's has played so far this season, not quite there with IHA. This will be her first real test of the season against a very tough IHA lineup.
Yes, IHA very talented, ranked number 24 in the country, actually. So we're very excited. Number 31, Steph Thomas, the opposing pitcher, leads off for IHA. As DeAndrea comes set on the mound, and the first pitch is in the dirt, 1-0 now. Thomas, a right-hander, facing the right-handed Dominique DeAndrea on the mound. Digs back in. And DeAndrea comes set. And the 1-0 pitch is taken. Looks like for a strike there. They have an odd angle. Hard to see the balls and strikes, but yes, I got that one right. Looked like a strike to me anyway.
Yes, if anyone is familiar with the geography of IHA's field, we are by the makeshift snack bar right behind us, serving up all kinds of goodies, or at least what smell like goodies.
They do smell good as the 1-1 pitch is taken for a ball, and that's going to run the count to 2-1. Good hitters count for the pitcher, Steph Thomas. As DeAndrea comes set, and the 2-1 pitch is swung on and hit hard into left field, and that's going to be off the wall, and she's going for extra bases. The left fielder gets it in quickly, but a sliding Steph Thomas gets a leadoff double, and IHA has things going their way to start off this inning.
Boy, you couldn't ask for a better start there if you're Steph Thomas, helping out your own cause. That one missed being a home run by, what would you say, maybe 2 or 3 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
She absolutely put a charge into that one. Came into the game without an extra base hit on the season. So that is her first extra base hit right there. And now IHA's got something cooking here early.
That's right. No leadoff hitter on as Danielle Monarchy comes in to pinch run for Steph Thomas. She is, of course, eligible to come back in. So Monarchy on second as Reese Guerrera, the third baseman, digs in, number 13. DeAndrea's first pitch is taken for a strike. 0-1 now with Monarchy on second. No one out. Nice start for IHA. Runner in scoring position already. Guerrera is waiting on the pitch, and the 0-1 pitch is well over the head. That's going to be a wild pitch. The runner is safe. Oh, that was really close. Advanced on the wild pitch there.
Very dangerous there. Going and standing. Obviously, that's a play where you want to go in sliding, try to avoid the tag. She was nearly tagged out because she decided to go in standing.
Going standing up. That pitch had some heat. Bounced off the cage quickly, came back to the catcher, and she fired a strike over to third as time is called here. And Candy Dean, the head coach, is going to run out and talk to her pitcher.
Yeah, and that's probably a good idea to settle her down at least a little bit here. But talking a little bit about Carly Testa, the catcher for St. Joe's Hamilton, she's a captain of the team as a junior. That's something that's very impressive. Obviously, usually that's an honor reserved for seniors. I was talking with Candy Dean earlier in the week. She says that she honestly believes Carly Testa will set the hits record for St. Joe. She's got 107 right now. The team record is 155, and obviously she's got nearly 2 full seasons to get there.
A very talented young lady as the 1-1 pitch is taken well outside for a ball, and that's going to run the count to 2-1. Runner on third, Danielle Monarchy. That was after Steph Thomas's double. She pinch ran for her and, of course, can come back in. As the 2-1 pitch is taken high for a ball. Nice job by Guerrero to lay off. You saw she wanted to take a cut at that one.
Yeah.
But held up in time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when that ball comes in at that angle, it's very tempting to swing despite knowing that you shouldn't. But a good idea there to be able to hold off.
Lay off. It was in her eyes as 3-1 pitch. It's fouled straight back, and we've got a full count now on the second hitter of the game, third baseman Reese Guerrera, number 13.
And she's done a very good job of being able to work the count, foul off a couple of pitches here.
As DeAndrea looks in and takes a little bit too long, and so Guerrera calls time, steps out, and takes a couple cuts. I mentioned still a little chilly this morning, everyone getting warm, both the pitchers and the hitters, but she gets back in the box. And DeAndrea's full count pitch is laid off well outside, and that's going to be a walk to Reese Guerrera. And that's going to put runners on the corners with no one out. Nice start.
And now this is exactly what you don't want to happen if you're St. Joe's. You've got Daniela Ibarra, the best player on IHA, coming up to the plate. Switch hitter. She's not really off to that fast of a start, hitting just 250 so far, but obviously very dangerous at the plate.
Ibarra playing shortstop, wearing number 24. A lefty digs in against DeAndrea, and the pitch is well in the dirt. Nice job by the catcher to keep that one in front of her, Carly Testa. Making Testa work back there, had the one wild pitch. I've seen a couple of balls in the dirt, and we're only 2 batters at, well, this being the third batter. 1-0 now as DeAndrea comes set. And the pitch is in the dirt again, 2-0. Another nice grab by Testa.
Yeah, this is what you start to see sometimes. You know, in baseball, when pitchers overthrow, a lot of times the ball will tend to ride high. But in softball, when pitchers are overthrowing, it tends to be a little bit low. And that's what we're seeing right now out of Dominique DeAndrea.
As the 2-0 pitch is high, and she's all over the place right now. And that's going to run the count to 3-0. I wouldn't be surprised if Ibarra takes another pitch no matter what here. Runners on the corners, no one out. No score here in the bottom of the first. High school softball at IHA as the 3-0 pitch is taken for a strike. She was taken all the way there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. On 3-0 at this juncture in the game, got to be taken all the way, especially when you've got, quite frankly, a talented opponent, despite what we've seen so far. DeAndrea, a very good pitcher on the mound.
She is indeed. As 3-1 pitch is swung on and hit a line drive to short, is gloved, and she doubles off the runner, Danielle Monarchy, on third base, and all of a sudden, what looked to be a very promising inning for IHA has turned out to be not so much. 2 outs and just the runner on first now, as a number 2, Angelina McGuire, the center fielder, steps in.
Yeah, and a great play that time by Taylor Sicoli to make the catch and then to have the presence of mind to get up and throw the ball to third base.
Right, Monarchy wandered a little too far off the base. That was a rocket, to be fair, but right at the shortstop. And as Joe mentioned, Sicoli made the quick grab and threw over to third. As the first pitch of the at-bat to McGuire, I think that was a ball. Oh, they called it a strike. 0-1 now.
It's always fun from this angle.
It is. It's tough.
Imagine calling a game from beyond the left field fence and 30 feet in foul territory, and that's exactly where we are.
As the runner is stealing, the ball gets loose, rolls into center field. She is safe. That was number 13, Reese Guerrera, snags a bag on the season. I believe that's her first, or that may actually be her second. But that's going to put a runner on second with 2 outs, and Angelina McGuire, the cleanup hitter, still in there. Now that is going to be her second stolen base of the season. As the 1-1 pitch is taken. Looks like for a ball. Oh, they're going to call it strike 2. 1-2 there. Again, the geography, as Joe mentioned, is difficult. Also, not very vocal umpires, but that's all right.
Yeah.
The person running the scoreboard is doing a nice job, and it's helping us out here as the 1-2 pitch from DeAndrea is laid off. Looked like it was really close to strike 3 there.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes, but home plate umpire Vic Shacatano, that's a fun name to say.
It is. You got it right. I'm glad you did.
Had a much better angle at it than we did.
Absolutely. And that's going to run the count to 2-2 now, as that pitch is another wild pitch, and this time Guerrera moves in easily. No throw by Testa, and that's going to put a runner on third with 2 outs. Second wild pitch of the inning for DeAndrea. Full count now, 2 outs, runner on third for Angelina McGuire, the center fielder for Immaculate Heart Academy. DeAndrea taking her time, and the 3-2 pitch is laid off in the dirt, and she walks her second batter of the inning.
That's rare because, like I mentioned at the beginning of this inning, DeAndrea had only walked 3 batters on the entire season, and she's already walked 2 here in this first inning. Certainly a little uncharacteristic.
As number 36, Rachel Pollard, the right fielder, digs in. 2 outs and runners on the corners as the first pitch is taken, and the runner steals. They throw to third to keep the runner there, and that's going to be catcher indifference, I think, to the runner who took second.
Now that should be
you're right. That
a
should
stolen
be.
base.
She did fire over. So 2 stolen bases this inning. Aggressive play by IHA.
Yeah, that's that old play where you get first and third and you send the runner from first trying to draw a throw down to second. And since the bases in softball are only 60 feet away from each other, if Carly Testa threw it down to second, Guevara was breaking for the plate the second the ball was out of her hand.
A nice play as it's 2-0 now to Rachel Pollard. Smart thinking by Anthony Lareza, the head coach of IHA.
And pretty much every team has got a couple of different options of a quote-unquote play to run when you're on defense in that situation. Some teams will either have the catcher fire the ball to the shortstop, so it looks like the runner at third base maybe should break. They'll have the second baseman cut in, and you could do the same thing on the other side of the field. You could just get up and fire it, but throw it right back to the pitcher, or you could do it where you just do a snap throw down to third base
like improvised, that. Almost like an improvised wheel play as the 1 pitch was fouled off. I'm sorry, the 1-1 pitch fouled off, and that's going to run the count to 1-2. Runners on second and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the first for IHA. Rachel Pollard at the plate fouls that one straight back to stay alive.
IHA doing a good job of fouling off a lot of pitches and really making DeAndrea work. Of course, when you're throwing underhand, pitch counts are not anything
really big of a deal.
To be too concerned about. But certainly making her throw a lot of pitches, and the teammates definitely getting a very good look at DeAndrea here in the first inning.
Yes, a nice job by IHA to help them out with that. As Pollard digs in, DeAndrea comes set, and the 1-2 pitch is laid off high, 2-2 now. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Rachel Pollard at the plate against Dominique DeAndrea, who is struggling this inning to get things going. I mentioned the cool weather, maybe taking her a little bit to get warm here. May settle in after this. As Joe mentioned, she is a very good pitcher. 2-2 now as DeAndrea comes set. And the pitch is swung on and hit, but that's going to go foul up here by us. Good cut there.
It certainly was. It was a good-looking line drive. You mentioned, obviously, the early start time, but also perhaps maybe some of the travel coming in, playing a factor here for St. Joe's. They came up yesterday, making about the 2-hour, 15-minute trek from Hamilton down in, I believe that's Salem County, down in South Jersey, making the trip up here. And so it's perhaps some travel fatigue as well.
Right, as the 2-2 pitch is fouled straight back. And Rachel Pollard is really making DeAndrea work here. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Still no score. IHA been unable to play to run here, but has played very well in this inning. Rachel Pollard is the 5th hitter up. If not for a rocket line drive and a great defensive play, easy to see IHA on top by 1 or even 2 at this point. 2-2 now, 2 outs. Rachel Pollard is waiting on the pitch. Makes a nice cut, and that's going to go foul, and it's going to drop out of play. Nice try by the third baseman to get over there. She couldn't put her glove on it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this looked like on camera, but when Power was going back in the ball, she had her glove almost fully extended as she was running, and that's one of the things that they teach you is not to put that glove out until you get to the spot or get close to the spot. I think that if she keeps it in and just runs regularly, she might be able to get to that one.
May have been able to. It was in play, and it dropped as less than a foot from her, I would say.
Although it's easy for me to speculate from up here.
Fair enough. As it is 2-2 now to Rachel Pollard, the right-hander, against Dominique DeAndrea, who comes set. And the pitch is in the dirt. Nice job to lay off. Hard to lay off a pitch when you've been fouling off that many back-to-back.
But it just shows a very good eye by Rachel Pollard. Returning senior from last year's Bergen County Championship team that went 31-2. A lot of success for this IHA team last few years.
As Pollard digs back in, it's a full count now. 2 outs, runners on second and third, and the pitch is swung on and hit, and that is going to drop. It looked like it hit the runner, but they're going to say it didn't, and that's going to be an infield hit.
Perhaps I might have had a little bit better. That ball had an insane amount of backspin on it, and so it hit the turf, and just it spun back towards DeAndrea a little bit and just kind of died there. That was interesting and not something that you're going to see all the time. But, hey, it goes down in the books as an RBI single, and I'm sure she'll take it.
Nice job for Rachel Pollard. And IHA is on top 1-0 here early on in this game as Jana Sharma, the catcher, digs in. And DeAndrea took too long, so Sharma steps out, and they'll get it all going again. Early 1-0 lead. It could be worse. DeAndrea has had some nice defensive play behind her as that ball is hit sharply to the third baseman, and she airmails the throw. A tough bounce, and now a second run is in. Another ball gets away, but she's not going to go anywhere, and Sharma makes it all the way to second on the error by the third baseman, Michaela Power.
Yeah, and that was a case there where Power just bobbled the ball to start with and then tried to make up for the bobble by throwing it a little high. Of course, with the bases being so short, any little bobble could cost you. And so Power just tried to make up for it with a throw, ended up airmailing the throw, and 2 runs now in for IHA.
Right. And that is going to bring up number 21, Emily Cieslak. Cieslak playing first base today, and she lays off the first pitch in the dirt, 1-0. So Sharma stands on second on the E5.
Cieslak, a 2-sport athlete here at IHA, also a member of the basketball team.
As that pitch, the 1-0 pitch, is fouled off. It may go out of play, and a nice play by left fielder, number 8, Kara Osley. She almost overran it, but makes the catch for the third out, and the Eagles are up. The IHA Eagles are up 3-0 here after 1.
Yeah, 3 runs might have come in, but only one of those will likely end up being earned.
That's right.
Against Dominique DeAndrea, of course, with the error on the third baseman that time. Michaela Power allowing those last 2 runs to come on in, and boy, that fly ball out there to end the inning was not what you would call pretty.
No, it was not, but she made the play, and that's the important thing.
Did get the job done.
And that is going to bring us into the top of the second. 2 hits, but 3 runs come in for the home team, and they have the early 3-0 lead here on this Sunday morning. As well as, looks like just the 1 error, 2 walks in the inning, and Dominique DeAndrea did not get off to the start she wanted. But Steph Thomas is back on the mound for IHA, looking to get things going here. Young ladies are gathering at the circle and the infield, getting ready here. A small but exuberant fan base here this morning, including one very excited dog in my vicinity.
Yep, coming right down the
fantastic.
The walkway right behind us.
How exciting. As the first pitch of the inning is laid off for a ball, that is to Taylor Sicoli, the shortstop. 1-0 now. Steph Thomas's first pitch in the dirt. Sat on the bench a while. If you recall, she was pinch run for after her leadoff double. So she's been sitting over there on the pine as the 1-0 pitch is lined, and that's going to be foul.
You know, you hear a lot about minor league teams and even some major league teams doing promotions where you can bring your dog out to the ballpark. Well, no promotion needed.
That's right.
Here at IHA, just bring your pup for a little bark at the park, literally.
Looks very excited to be here, as are we, as the 1-1 pitch from Thomas is fouled up behind home plate. A nice catch by the catcher, and that is going Jaina Sharma, and that's going to be the first out of the inning. And now Olivia Kerr, the first baseman, is going to dig in and take her cuts with 1 out and no one on. Thomas comes set. And the first pitch of the at-bat is lined towards second. Played there nicely. And turned into the second out of the inning. Nice play by Reagan Jones on the grounder. 2 outs now. And Steph Thomas is off to a quick start here in the top of the second.
Yeah, after that leadoff error that Carly Testa reached base on, now 5 in a row retired for Steph Thomas.
Michaela Power, the third baseman, steps in and takes the first pitch for a strike. Power, of course, had that difficult defensive inning, so looking to get off on a better foot here offensively. Takes strike 1. Waits on Thomas, who comes set, and the pitch is swung on and missed, and that's going to put her in an early 0-2 hole.
It looked like Thomas took a little something off that pitch. She's been pounding the strike zone with mostly the fastball and the rise ball so far. Now starting to mix in some of her secondary pitches.
Right. 0-2 now. 2 outs for Power, who skies that one. And that's going to be the third out of the inning. Looks like the play was made by second baseman Reagan Jones. So an F4 ends this one, and we are still at a 3-0 lead for IHA over St. Joe's here, heading into the bottom of the second. IHA coming back up to hit once again.
And for IHA, it'll be 8-9-1 in the lineup. Emily Walter, Juliana Katja, and then back to Steph Thomas.
At the top, the pitcher, of course, led off with the double. IHA softball, athletic director John Down. They're playing for a purpose here to support Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Foundation. You can make a pledge for a run scored or strikeouts thrown. And to find out how to help out, contact any IHA player or coach, and you can pledge your support to make a positive difference. Visit the website mskcc.convio.net/go/playing for a purpose. A nice promotion they're doing here to help out folks with cancer and the people at Memorial Sloan Kettering searching for a cure. 3-0 here. The hometown IHA Eagles on top of the visiting St. Joe's Wildcats. As the young ladies gather in the circle, and Dominique DeAndrea is ready to get the bottom of the second going. Hopefully it goes better than the bottom of the first for her, as number 12, Emily Walter, the left fielder, digs in. Walter takes the first pitch in the dirt, and that's going to be an early 1-0 count.
Emily Walter's an interesting story. One of the rare players here at IHA who makes the varsity team eventually as a starter, as the pitch is in there for a strike, who actually played on the freshman team as a freshman. A lot of players, who are going to end up being varsity starters, maybe start JV their freshman year.
Right.
Was on the freshman team as a freshman as the pitch is in there for a strike, and then just got focused during the offseason, worked hard, and Anthony Reza said that she definitely earned her spot in the starting lineup.
Starting in left field tonight wearing number 12. Sorry, this morning. I don't know where this tonight came from. As the 1-2 pitch is in the dirt, and it's going to be 2-2. As Joe mentioned, pitchers who overthrow here in softball often put the ball in the dirt. We've seen a lot this morning from Dominique DeAndrea.
Well, like we mentioned at the onset, this is really DeAndrea's first real test of the season. I mean, not to say that St. Joe's hasn't played any good teams so far, but certainly no teams that are on the caliber of IHA. And they did scrimmage earlier on in the season, but, I mean, that was preseason. That doesn't really count 100%.
As the 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, the pitch previous was fouled straight back into the screen. And DeAndrea has run up a 2-2 count to the leadoff hitter here in the inning.
Never something good after that 3-run first inning that IHA put up. If you're DeAndrea, you want to come back and get that first out in the second as quickly as you possibly can, and not to really have to labor the way that she's had to the number 8 hitter.
Right. As the 2-2 pitch was fouled off again. Number 12 for each team digging in against each other, and the 2-2 pitch there, the 3-2 pitch, I suppose.
It was, yeah.
It was the 3-2 pitch. My mistake. And she draws a walk, and the leadoff hitter is on for the second straight inning for IHA.
And you can't really walk the leadoff hitter, especially when you're down. More times than not, that'll end up coming back to bite you.
The third walk of the game and only the second inning here for Dominique DeAndrea. As Juliana Caccia, the designated player, digs in, wearing number 22, and takes the first pitch high for a ball.
It's been a little bit of a struggle so far this season for Caccia, hitting just 125 on the season. But obviously, if you're going to be the designated player, which is essentially the softball equivalent of the designated hitter,
right?
In baseball, you expect that to come up a little bit.
Absolutely. This is only the fourth game of the season as the 1-0 pitch was laid off for a ball. DeAndrea is on the circle, spins the ball, and the 2-0 pitch is fouled straight back into that cage behind him.
That was a good cut that time. You can really see what Anthony Reza sees in her. She takes a good swing at the plate. And like we said, obviously, you expect the batting average to come up a little bit, especially when it seems like her approach at the plate is as good as it is.
As that 2-1 pitch is fouled back again. Back-to-back nice cuts, and that's going to run the count to 2-2 on Juliana Caccia, the designated player, wearing number 22 this morning. DeAndrea comes set, and the 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, and that's going to run the count full here to the second straight hitter in this inning. Yeah,
and I believe there were two 3-ball counts in that first inning as well. So this is now 4 batters the first time through the lineup that have been able to work 3-ball counts, full counts against DeAndrea.
As the full count pitch is inside for a called strike 3. And the runner steals on the play. The ball goes into center, but is recovered nicely out there by Angelina McGuire. By center fielder Catherine Bromley.
Yeah, and a big first out there for Dominique DeAndrea. Of course, Walter was off slightly after the pitch, so she was able to steal second. but a big first out nonetheless. It's always nice
corner
to get that big one.
Absolutely. And we're back up at the top of the lineup with the pitcher Steph Thomas stepping in. 1-for-1 tonight with a double in the last inning.
Yeah, and that double was nearly hit over the left field fence, and the left fielder now for St. Joe's, Kara Owsley, is playing maybe 10 feet away from the fence in left field.
Backed way up there as the first pitch is in the dirt. Take a look at that on our camera there. And Steph Thomas has the early 1-0 count in her favor as DeAndrea comes set, and the pitch is taken for a strike on the inside part of the plate. That's where she struck out the last hitter, Juliana Caccia. Thomas wearing number 31 this morning. Doing well on the defensive side of things and looking to continue her hot offensive day, as it is 1-1 now with 1 out and a runner on second, and that pitch is high, easy to lay off there, 2-1. That rise ball really rose there.
A little bit too much.
Nice job by Thomas to lay off, as Joe mentioned. Hard to lay off the pitch in your eyes because you can see it so well. But it's 2-1 now to the opposing pitcher, Steph Thomas, who takes low in the dirt, and they're going to run the count to 3-1.
Yeah, third straight 3-ball count here to start the inning. Steph Thomas at the plate, looking for her first RBI of the season. She's got a prime opportunity to do it here. Good hitters count on 3-1.
As the 3-1 pitch is taken high, and that's going to be the second walk of the inning, the fourth walk of the game. So a nice job by Steph Thomas to lay off that pitch. And once again, we're going to have the pinch runner come in for IHA, and that is going to be number 15, Danielle Monarchy. She pinch ran for her in the first inning when she got on. As now Reese Guerrero is going to step back in and takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Guerrero walked in the last inning, stole a base, advanced on the wild pitch, and eventually came around to score the first run. No, she was thrown out. My mistake. She was thrown out on that rocket shot as the 1-0 pitch is laid off by Reese Guerrero. 2-0 now.
No, Guevara did come around to score.
That's right. It was Monarchy who was doubled off on that first shot. My mistake there. 2-0. A good hitter's count to Reese Guerrero, who walked her first time up. Has 1 run scored already, and she swings hard at that one right up the middle, and it's going to go into left center field all the way to the wall. 1 run's around to score. The other run is coming. Danielle Monarchy, play at the plate, is safe, and the runner moves up to third on the throw. A nice job there by Reese Guerrero all over that one, right up the middle, and that is going to give the IHA Eagles an early 5-0 lead. She rocketed that pitch.
Absolutely, and the funny thing is it took 1 hop right in front of pretty much the second base bag, and Walter had to kind of jump out of the way of it, and then from there it just took off and rolled all the way to the fence out in dead center field.
Seemed to pick up speed as it rolled all the way to the wall. And St. Joe struggled to get that in.
Yeah, on this artificial turf field here at IHA, you don't really get the kind of slowing down of the ball that you would get maybe on a natural grass surface or, some of the newer turf surfaces that play a little bit more like grass.
Right, as Danielle Ibarra steps in and takes the first pitch in the dirt for a ball. Ibarra had that rocket shot in the first inning, but right to the shortstop, and ended up doubling off Danielle Monarchy, who, of course, just scored the 5th run for IHA. As that pitch is in the dirt again, 2-0 now. Good hitters count. DeAndrea really, really struggling out there. 2-0. DeAndrea on the circle, looks in. As Ibarra calls time. DeAndrea took a little bit too long there. A lot of pitches in the dirt, a lot of balls high. She really is having trouble finding the strike zone as head coach Candy Dean calls time. Is going to come out and talk to her pitcher, Dominique DeAndrea.
Yeah, and this is just going to be a one-on-one conference. The rest of the infielders were about to go in and participate, and Kenny just put up her right hand and said, no, go back. Go back to your positions is just something that she's got to hash out right now with DeAndrea. And, whatever she's seeing, whether it's what we're seeing, maybe a little bit that she could be overthrowing, but she's certainly struggling with her control out there in a way that she hasn't all season. Like we mentioned, 3 walks on the year coming into this game, already 4 in the first 2 innings. And that's obviously a sign of trouble.
And every hitter seems to have had a good count to hit in.
Yeah, that too.
Which obviously has led to the 5 runs in 2 1/3, 1 1/3 inning. Pardon me here, 1 out in the second.
And I mean, obviously, IHA is a very good team.
And
they've got a lot of very good players. 4 players committed to play Division I softball next year. This lineup is filled with very good players. But DeAndrea is not a bad pitcher.
No, she's a very good pitcher. Just a tough draw for her this morning as the 2-0 pitch is laid off and taken for ball 3 now. So 3-0 to Daniela Ibarra, who is looking to hit another ball hard but hopefully find a hole this time. As the 3-0 pitch is called, strike 1. Looked a little low there, caught the corner.
Yeah.
Outside corner.
Perhaps a generous call that time by
was.
home
Easy
plate
to
umpire.
lay off that 3-0 pitch. But now in the hitter's count, the 3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off to the left. And that's going to run the count full. Runner on third, 1 out. Deep fly ball scores the 6th run of the game. And then we start getting into dangerous territory for St. Joe's.
And meanwhile, you've got Steph Thomas absolutely dealing on the mound for IHA, retiring 6 in a row.
That's right.
After allowing the leadoff runner to reach base on an error. So
That's
really,
right.
7 if you
That
want
is
to
true.
fudge the numbers a little bit.
As that 3-2 pitch is fouled straight back over the screen again. A nice cut just behind it. Full count, 1 out, runner on third. And that pitch is swung on and hit into center field, left center field. It's going to drop, roll all the way to the wall. The left fielder turns and gets the ball in, and that's going to plate the 6th run of the game for IHA as Daniela Ibarra gets an RBI double.
Back-to-back RBI doubles here for IHA, and like we mentioned, things going from bad to worse here in this second inning for St. Joe's.
2 runs in this inning on only 2 hits. We did have the 2 walks as well, and that is been Daniela Ibarra's struggle, not being able to find the zone as Angelina McGuire, the center fielder, digs in. And the first pitch of the at-bat is well high. It's going to go to the screen, and the runner will move up. Ibarra now stands on third after the wild pitch.
3rd wild pitch of the game so far for St. Joe's. Things really could not be going worse for the Wildcats.
Angelina McGuire walked in her last at-bat, stole second, and moved up to third on one of the other 3 wild pitches thrown by DeAndrea. And McGuire calls time as the pitcher and catcher took too long to get something settled, but digs back in. Lefty versus righty here as the 1-0 pitch is swung on, grounded to second, but it's going to plate the 7th run of the game. So 2 outs, nobody on anymore, but IHA is up 7-0 on the RBI ground out for Angelina McGuire.
There's a lot of talk about productive outs. Well, here's a productive out right there.
That's right. That's right.
Didn't obviously knows she's up there, doesn't have to hit a home run, just hit the ball to the right side of the infield, essentially, and that'll be enough to plate the 7th run.
A little easier for lefties to do as Rachel Pollard swings on the first pitch, lines it hard, but right to the center fielder, Catherine Bromley, who makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. And so the total now is 7-0 as 4 runs come in that inning off of only 2 hits, actually, and 2 walks.
Well, the walks will